So the next step, so we have a simple animation blueprint happening here with a simple state machine. And yeah, so let's start expanding on it, right? I want to set up a system for different gates and stuff like that, right? So if we go into the state machine here, what I'd rather have here than a sequence player is a sequence evaluator, just because it's a little more flexible. But that pretty much requires some code. What I want to have basically is I want to be able to have a update function that essentially allows for me to have different gaits, right? Like a walking, a jogging, a sprint maybe, with different movement speeds and stuff like that associated with them, different animations associated with them, and all of that. And then within each of those gates, basically, if we go back to the state machine, I'm going to expand cycle out to be, or well, idle as well, I guess counts too. I'm actually not sure how I'm going to handle idle in the gate setup. Maybe that'll be a layer and it's on its own. But so here, what I'm going to do is I want to have a like the setup for this. Basically, I'll have a function that this can call on update to set that up. So okay, so it's going to have to be a blueprint callable. It's going to have to be a blueprint method, it looks like, which is okay. I'll probably just implement most of it in C++ anyway, but yeah. So anyway, back to what I was thinking about, right? I have to think about more about the idle state, but for movement, I still have, you know, what I wrote here. I have walk, run, crouch, fly, swim, all of these things. So I want those associated with gameplay tags, and I want those to contain all the different phases, which are going to basically, should I call them? I called phases in my notes here. But I mean, they're basically going to map to the states, right? So I'm actually probably going to put another state machine in here. No, that's not it. Maybe I can't do that in here. I can. Right, so this will be walk cycle. And then in here, we're going to have starting and cycle, stopping, and then we can go back into cycle from here. Right, and then when I fall out of this state, it should just I'll just, for now, I'm just gonna bypass this one anyway. And then this can have the walk in here. And we'll never transition to stopping for now. So I'll get a warning. Didn't get a warning. Why not? Anyway, or maybe just because it's not hooked up to anything. So in theory, that should be exactly the same. Yep, that works exactly the same. So that's what I want to do. Later, I'm probably going to move all of these into layers and stuff like that. But for now, I'm trying to keep it simple. So this will play any starting animations that we might have, which is actually should be easy enough to find. And now we can make this animation a automatic rule. So let's go in here and turn that off. And back here and make it an automatic rule based on sequence player. And now we should get, so that animation needs to be adjusted for sure, but it's playing. Okay, so we have to fix the timings of those things and whatnot, but see, there's like a pause at the beginning, but the character's already moving, and that's why it looks like that. So I have to think that might not be a good animation for what I want to do. Maybe I can adjust it later. I'll leave it for now just to see, just for illustrative purposes, basically. But so the idea here now is now we have starting, cycle, and stopping, right? And for each of those, we want to have a left, right, forward, and backwards animation. And potentially up and down if we're doing flying. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't know if I'm going to have any flying in this game. Oh, I might, at least for enemies. Right, so here I want how to select this one, right? So let's change this to a sequence evaluator. Sequence, okay, so I want to make that dynamic. And I want to make explicit time dynamic and not expose it as a pin. And then basically we want to do on become relevant, I believe. Okay, let's give this a better name. Okay. How come I can't break that? I want to know what's in this. So anim update context structure by ref. Okay, so we convert that to a sequence evaluator, and then we need to set sequence, and I'm going to do set sequence with inertial blending because I'm going to use that later. All right, and then what we need is a function here to select the asset. So I want to make a blueprint method for that, and so what can I do with the context? Well, I could probably pass it in. Let's try that. So what is this type? All right, how about we do this? Let's go to find references. Go to definition. Nope. All right, well, we're gonna do a little bit of exploratory stuff here. So this is a anim update context type. Anim update context. Okay, so let's see if I can let's see how much of this I can do in C++. Right, so first let's see if there's an override for this. All right, let's see. On become, nope. Okay, so let's create a protected new function, blueprint callable. void on become native on become, and the types I need are anim update context, and what's the other call? Anim node reference. It's probably just anim node. Okay. There we go. Animations less anim node reference.h. Okay, so I can probably make these both const references. Okay. So let's see what I can do. SequenceEvaluator library. Okay, let's find out about that. So let's see, what does the AI have to say? Okay, let's try, see if it's the module is there. No. Oh yeah, it's not gonna build like that. Okay, so let's go back to here. Let's see if I can find it now. Actually, what was the include? Convert to SequenceEvaluator. Anim node reference. And then I need a version. Okay, and then what do I do with it? Oh, that's because of the two tab thing, right? So pure is a pure version of it, I think. This is basically the exact same thing that it was the first block of the thing, right? So I've never done this. I've always done this in blueprints. So this is a challenge for me to. And I'm basically just using the blueprint library stuff, but. There we go. See if that fixes the build. What did I call it? Native on become relevant. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. To me anyhow. So let me figure that out. So let's quick add that. If be success. Yeah, I don't know how any of this is supposed to work, so I'm just going to use the library. Okay, so let's see. We have update context. We have SequenceEvaluator. We have the sequence, which currently null. We'll figure that out. And blend time. Let's make that a variable. So float. And what is this type? UAnim sequence space. Okay, so that's what we need to do for the set. Oh wait, one more thing. I need to also set the explicit time to the beginning. I don't know if that's strictly necessary. A lot of the documentation I read, a lot of the stuff that I've watched says that you need to do this to kind of get it started. Like maybe it stays in wherever it got left off last time or something, and that's why you want to do that. It hasn't been explained to me yet. Anyway, that's the structure I'm looking for. In fact, that's pretty much it. So if I build here, and once it's built, right, I could actually take these out and say native should be within the context. Okay, what did I do wrong? It's Mayday anim instance space, Mayday anim instance space. Do I have to be thread? Does it have to be thread safe or something? So why don't you like that non-thread safe function on thread safe graph? So I need to make this thread safe. How do I make it thread safe? There it is. That's why it didn't find it. So that should do it. Now I just need to figure out how to figure out what the basically how to get this sequence. All right, so what I had in mind is well, let's just start with just now I need a type. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new data asset. I'm going to call it Locomotion data asset. Okay. Now what we need here, I'm going to create a struct or use struct, blueprint type struct. F. So what we want is we do want a U property here, and it defaults only blueprint. And this is going to be max walk speed. I need to set anything else. My notes get a little messy here. I wrote down max walk speed twice. So then there's also like the movement. This is one thing I was thinking about too. Right, the movement component has a crouch speed as well. You know what? I'm not going to bother with that. Just get myself distracted. But there's this crouch speed as well. So maybe I need that. But there's a couple of other things I did want to put in here. Maybe I just set them both. Maybe I do handle crouched. Anyway, but I'll come back to that. So I'm also thinking max step height. And then we're gonna do jump z velocity. And I think I will add the max walk speed crouched. So I'm going to have to create some of those. I actually want the category to probably be locomotion.gate, or is it gameplay tag filter in this instance? Hold on a second. It's categories. Okay, and then we also need a T-map of F gameplay tag, a new struct that I haven't made yet, but I'm going to do it above, but just to fill this out. Phase is what I called it before. Maybe it's state. How about locomotion phase? So do I make that a T array? Or do I make that I think it should be a T map. Okay, so then I can fill those out. I need to create this struct here, so I'll just do it right here. And then here, and what I need this to be is, what's the type I need it to be? I need it to be a sequence is uanim sequence space. Okay. Okay, what don't you like here? Oh. Okay, so now I got all that, right? And that should be buildable. But it's not. Why not? Blueprint read-only should not be used in private menus members. That's right, it should not be. Why did I do that? Oh. Sometimes it's the simplest things. Now, if I go to data and create a data asset, Locomotion. All right, so I can add a, oh, I don't have the tags yet. I need to create the tags, but that did not work. Maybe because they're on none? Okay, let me make those tags real quick. Okay. So yeah, there's that, but I don't need the base ones, so we'll do walk. And we'll do, what are the phases I have so far? Starting, cycle, stopping. Okay. Now, you know, I'm doing this all like very generic here, but then I think that, like, because then I kind of broke down and just did the forward backward stuff for the 4 of them instead of having a tag. But I think that with a to-do of that, but I think that that's just going to be that, I mean, just one layer of complexity less. I'm happy. I'm okay with that. Can always refactor it later, right? So, all right. I think that's what I need for the tags. I need to go back, of course, to the other half of them. See this, when you're doing this right, writer. I really appreciate that kind of AI. Okay, let's see if that fixes the... So that one did not take. Let's see. No, wrong input, wrong data asset. That one. So I guess it is categories. So that's both. It's not necessary to do both. All right, so let's take that out. I don't know what these should be yet. I'll have to check my animations, but we'll say 402, 32, and... Well, what's the defaults, actually? 420, and 45, and... 600, okay. Okay, so now let's see how do these work out. Sorry, let's start. I'll put there. Let's set down for a second first. Sorry. So in theory, well, obviously I don't have anything wired up to actually use this stuff, but the idea is that we have a... We can set, like, I can use this data asset now. I can use this data asset to look up the information I need, and I can just configure all of these things here in the editor without having to go into the code anymore. Of course, still have to write the code to do that part, but set that up in the set player settings component, but not in the CPP. There we go. Well, no, this is not player settings, is it? This is a... No, it is, because it has to do with the... Player might be the wrong terminology here. It might be better to be like character settings or something, but... Okay, that should... Okay, so that should give us in here... Oh, I moved it into the player controller, right. So, okay, now that's hooked up. So what I need to do next is grab from... Get the player character, which I have. Okay, so how do I get the current gate? Right, so now I can actually like do something like this, right? Player character. Of course, there is no such thing as a get locomotion configuration, so I need get player controller. So actually, I think I want to do store that. Yeah, okay, so in order to do that, what I want to do is I want to do a make a private function here. Void initialize. let's see. I need to store this. I want to cast a Mayday player controller. Oh. All right, and then player controller. So, this might be a little too dense. So how about I wrap this in an if player character, so I could take this part out. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so now I should have the player controller. So all right, so how did I oh, it's not exposed. Okay, that's fine. How about I do a what's it called? Locomotion. What did I call it? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna put this at the bottom. It's already gonna be inlined. It's inlined. Now, if I go back to, I should be able to do player controller, get locomotion configuration. So, okay, so now here we go. So I need a method in there called get sequence, right? Which should actually, if I'm doing it that way, why don't I just make it? So what does the sequence need? The sequence needs the current gate, the current phase, and that's it. But I don't have either of those. Or maybe I do. Maybe there's something in the update context. Let's see, it's doesn't have much. Is it valid? Convert to type, get base context. Valid, convert type, I don't see any references in here to like the state machine or anything like that. Poses and stuff like that. Maybe the other. Maybe. See. Sure, there's a way. I just don't know what it is. Let's see. Unreal Engine. I don't know if that's a good way to ask the question, but you can access the animation instance and check the state machine state information. What is that? And I'm in the anim instance, so I should be able to do that easily. So let's see, what is it called? So let's see here. Anim blueprint class. Machine index? What is this doing? So, fanim node state machine should have an fanim node reference. So let's see. Oh, look at that. So what is anim node? Let's see what happens. Anim node. It's not get active state. It is get state info. What don't you like about that? Let's see. What don't you like about this? Member is inaccessible. Okay. That's not helpful. Let's see what else do we have here to work with. Get current state. Oh, it's an int. Get current state name. Okay, so I need to think. So the problem I'm seeing here now, right, is I have F names and I have gameplay tags. I really want to use, I guess I need to convert the gameplay tag, this into a gameplay tag, which couples the namings in here, and I don't like that. Yeah. So for current phase, I think I could do something like this. Not exactly, but something like this. Current gate, I believe, is something that needs to be controlled by needs to be set here. So let's do let's go back to the h.h file and let's create a protected I'm gonna call it, I'm just gonna get an F gameplay tag. Actually, why don't I just do okay, and literally I don't know how we're going to change that yet, but I think I'm going to leave it here with code that does not compile, because I've been at this for a while now and I need to take a longer break. So my next planned steps are to finish this get sequence thing, which will probably get a different name. Write helper methods for this thing here, a helper method here, because I want to convert this state name into a F gameplay tag. And, or I guess current phase into an F gameplay tag. It could be as simple as just tacking locomotion dot phase in front of the current state name. But either way, it's going to be move that to another function there, and then implement this guy, which is going to have to take into account the direction that we're heading, directions and velocity and stuff like that. Thanks for watching again, and you have a wonderful day.